I gotta say, I respect the Democratic Party of the United States of America because they represent strength and power and forward thinking. In fact, I would even say that they have developed access to magic. They have the ability to conjure spells and miracles, and they are sharing this with the public. So, for instance, in America, if you utter the magical incantation, I identify as a woman, then and the powers, they seep from the Democratic Party through the American soil, and you become a woman. This is some magic that is tied to the soil of America. Like, it doesn't work in China, for instance. Doesn't work very well in India. Doesn't work in other places of the world. But again, in America, you utter the magic phrase, I identify as a woman. And legally speaking, in most states, you are treated as a woman, both from a judicial point, as well from a social point. Because if other people do not treat you as a woman, you can summon another spell, the Democrats' wrath. You summon the Democrats' wrath on that person, and through the magic of social media, they can get fired, they can get ostracized from their circle of friends. There are consequences. But all jokes aside, right? Like, if you're just going to allow people to say, I identify as a woman, and they get all of the legal benefits of being a woman, surely you're not going to find any disingenuous people. Like, surely there is not going to be people that will take advantage of this. Like, right? It just doesn't happen because we all know that people in America, all of them, every single one is honest, decent, honorable. Like, you will not have a person that is not transgender and identifying as being transgender just to take advantage of certain privileges. That would never happen, ever. It's impossible. 350 million Americans, not one of them would take advantage of it. Because, again, like, the whole thing is subjective. Like, they do not require, in most places, any sort of identification. They do not require any sort of doctor to perform an objective exam. No. It's like, did he say the magic word? And if the answer is yes, then, well. Now, why is this becoming relevant? Well, it's becoming relevant because the Biden administration, apparently, tinkered with Title IX. Now, Title IX was something that was used in universities in order to protect women, but it was abused to hell and back. Basically, if you are a woman and you claim that you were abused on campus, they wouldn't actually call the police. Like, they wouldn't call the authorities, the trade specialists that have the ability to do investigations and to figure out who is the criminal, to interrogate witnesses, to gather DNA. No. They would go to the university professors, right? So the university professors, apparently, despite the fact that they didn't have any type of training in conducting criminal investigation, they would basically say, yes, this person is guilty or not. And it led to some bizarre cases that even came out in the media. So, for instance, the Rolling Stone case is one of the most famous ones, where they accused that entire fraternity of behaving improperly towards women, and people were throwing rocks at that fraternity windows. They were painting graffiti on it. They were mistreating the people from the fraternity, so that eventually it was proven that it was all a hoax. But the damage was already done, right? Like, the people with torches and pitchforks already came through. The Mattress Girl incident, another famous one. The one that was, like, the most ridiculous, like, one of the incidents that genuinely astonished me, involved a teacher, like an assistant professor, who had sex with a guy that was from the football team. And apparently one of her friends said, no, you got assaulted. And she's like, no, it was consensual. And her friend goes like, no, you got assaulted. She went and filed a complaint with the university, and they punished the guy. I think they terminated his scholarship. I mean, like nonsense like this. If anyone has access to that news, like, please post it in the comments, because I remember it. I just forgot the names and where it took place. But I was reading it on my channel because, again, like, it made it into the mainstream news, and it was just so bizarre. It was like, how can this happen? Like, this is so ridiculous. And again, like, the cops weren't involved. It wasn't the legal matter, but it was like something that they did in the university. And again, like, Title IX was the one that was emboldening this paralegal activity. This idea of, okay, well, a crime is committed, but we don't call the cops. We just use the university professors to investigate. And oftentimes it was done unfairly because in the court of law, the person gets to face their accuser, there is evidence brought against them, they can dismiss the evidence, they get to have a lawyer. I don't really expect that this would happen in universities, right? Like the university professors, I mean, some of the cases that I know, usually the person would eventually have to sue, and after the fact, many years later, it was turned out, oh, he's in the right and the university owes him cash. But anyway, what the Biden administration did is they took Title IX and they inserted gender identity into it. So now if you're a biological man, you can utter the phrase, I identify as a woman, right? And as people are complaining on Twitter, they're saying that you can gain athletic scholarship from women, you get full access to bathrooms, locker rooms, etc. You get access to dorms. You get to mind control people and force them to use your pronouns, like all of that stuff. And of course, you won't find a single, not a single disingenuous person, like not a single person that is going to take advantage of this. Like not a single person that isn't trans is not going to pretend to be in order to be able to troll. Right. It just doesn't happen. Ever. In the entire history of man, will never happen. The thing that I see it is that, I mean, this is already the mainstream way of thought in corporate America, right? Like all of this is already normalized. If you're a company and you want to get rid of the gender pay gap, all you gotta do is you say, all right, well, Mark and Steve, can you please identify as women for me? Just for the paperwork. Like, you don't need to do much. Maybe you can go down to City Hall and change your ID. And if they do that, all of a sudden the gender pay gap diminishes, right? Because now you got 2 extra women, the diversity percentages check out. Again, it's corporate America. It's how you do business. So it doesn't really surprise me that the politicians are responding to what the culture is. And especially when universities are places where liberalism flourishes, it doesn't surprise me that the Democrats are going to do this before the election season. The interesting thing is that a lot of people who don't like this are women, which are now called trans-exclusive radical feminists. And they're complaining, but you weren't complaining when Title IX was used in an abusive way. Like whenever I saw a case that was like clear-cut abuse, and I would go on Twitter and social media, most of the people that were outraged were men. And to me, it was bewildering because, like, okay, well, if you're a woman, it doesn't affect you personally. But surely one day you can end up having a son, or you may already have a brother, or a father, or an uncle, and it can affect them. Like, men and women are tied together. Like, we're supposed to complete each other, right? Like, why aren't you upset about this? And now it's really Title IX that is being changed, to the point that, unironically, if I was in an American liberal college or I had a son, I would tell them, no, you identify as a woman. Period. Like, you don't need to do anything. But it's like, no, prefer pronoun she, her, you're a woman. End of discussion. End of conversation. Anyone asks, that's what you are. I mean, why not? Where is the wrong in that? Where is the ideological inconsistency? Is there required for something more? Well, if it's required that you need to get a license, or it's required that you need to change your ID, okay, fine, we do that as well. And that's what I would do, like, you still behave the same way, you still act the same way, but I would just transition, unironically, 100%. But that's what I would do. I don't know what you would do. But I have a feeling that in the liberal world, who use Robin DiAngelo as their Bible, and they're like, oh my god, the cisgender, white male, heteronormative patriarchy, the greatest evil. I don't want to be the greatest evil. I don't want to be mistreated, no. Why would I want that? No. No, I'm not. Pronouns, she, her. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think it's immoral. I don't think it's illegal. Okay, like, if anyone can contradict me and say why that would be a bad thing, I'm willing to listen. But so far, I genuinely do not see in what way that would be a bad thing. If anything, I think that would open more doors. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.